What's up, my lambs? Welcome back to Humpday Horror, the horror series where I play horror games for Wednesdays, and today we're playing Signed Mary. It's certainly not Silent Hill 2. Let's get into it. Oh my god. It's a work of fiction, references to real world stuff. There's lots of stuff going on. Purely narrative purposes. Don't come after them. Trademark logos, brand names, property, owners respective. Okay. Hell yeah. Okay, we got some nice artwork. We got some nice stuff. Kicking it off. Okay. Lorianne is a 25-year-old young woman pursuing an unpredictable modeling career. She struggles with her adult life and the loss of her parents from 7 years ago, an event that drastically steers the life she wishes to live. Lorraine has chosen to completely forget her past to cope with the present, but she forced to remember it was when she receives a phone call of her deceased parents and finds a letter signed a familiar name, Mary, calling her back to her hometown not Silent Hill. This journey becomes a pretext to visit her parents after 7 years from their death, but her plans are disrupted by a car accident. Now Lorianne roams the deserted streets of her hometown seeking help. The only person left who can assist her is the enigmatic Mary. However, both are threatened by a morbid presence. To save herself and Mary. Oh, sure. Well. Okay, let's start. Hell yeah.
Lorraine, please come home.
Three months later. Lorraine? Are you alright? Huh? Yeah. I'm fine. Well, why do you ask? I don't know. It's just that lately you haven't been really yourself. The other girls have noticed too. You don't look too well. You seem very tired. Is there something troubling you? No, I'm fine, really. It's just been a long day, I guess. You know, if you're really going through something, me and the girls can help you. I'm sorry, but remember, you're not alone here. Just come and talk to us. You know, I was thinking that maybe. That moment when her voice circled my head, I looked at myself in the mirror. I brought my hands up to my cheeks, brushing it softly with the tip of my trembling fingers. Something fell off. Oh, something felt off, like a cheap broken nail. Despite the layers of professional makeup, exhaustion etched lines on my face. My whole body felt numb. My lungs forcing air inside of them, and the black circles under my eyes became harder to mask under the layers of thick, rigid foundation. Little wrinkles crept into my face bit by bit. I had gained 3 kilograms over the past 3 months, though, luckily, wasn't noticeable yet. But it didn't matter if the others could tell. I could tell, and that was more than enough. It overwhelmed me, growing in my stomach more and more each day. I couldn't stop eating. I needed it. These 3 months had been so hard for me, and I was so stressed, and I kept eating and eating, feeling miserable with each bite. But I didn't want to purge. I wasn't sick in the head. I kept jogging and exercising, only to eat again when I'm finished. Food was the only thing that gave me warmth when I needed it most. But I couldn't go on like this. I loved this job, being a model. It was the first time in years people had looked at me again with admiration, with smiles. I had missed seeing people smile at me like that. I had been so alone, up until I joined the modeling agency. I had finished architecture school, graduated from one of the hardest grade schools, but it wasn't for me. It was what my parents wished for, not my choice. And thinking about how I was wasting my diploma by walking and shaking my hips on stage made me feel ashamed. But I loved modeling. I felt great doing it, and I had come so far. I was the girl, the sex symbol of our time, and I didn't want to lose all this. Not now. I was finally blooming, and I didn't want to rot again. Like I had back then. I had suffered enough. God damn it. I couldn't allow myself to get worked up by nonsense. I was no longer like that. I was Lorraine. I had to deliver the show everyone was waiting for. I wanted to keep seeing my face in the magazines. Finally felt so pretty, so confident in my body, and didn't want to lose it. Lorraine, are you listening? As much as I tried to listen to her words, they just passed through me like slim piercing needles, okay? Drilling my body, twitching my heart with their pinched noses. Noises. I hated loud noises, but it wasn't her voice triggering me. Lately, bells keep ringing in my ears ever since that phone call. When I heard its ringing tone and saw parents on the small, rusty screen, my whole body froze. My hand softened its grip on the phone, dropping it to the floor and shattering it. A few hours later, I found myself in an empty, white, swollen room, lying on a bed with a nurse next to me. I had fainted. I missed them so much. But I promised myself to forget everything that happened. I got home to my apartment. I sat on my table. Sitting across from me was a brown tiny teddy bear wrapped with an old memories of me holding it when I was 8. His name was Popo. Popo watched me as I leaked tears in my mug. I was drinking milk. I left the fridge open with peanut and chocolate dark mint sitting on... What? I left the fridge open with peanut chocolate and dark mint, one sitting on the first row, and on the bottom there were 2 boxes of 5 macarons each. The lights were turned off, but on the table with me was a caramel-flavored candle lit up. That's a sweet combination of everything. I looked at my calendar pinned on the wall, admiring the nice beach view on the page of June. I've forgotten to turn the pages since June, when my parents called me. I don't know if it even was them. Maybe it was just seeing things. When I think of it, I've never visited them. It's been almost 6 years. Went to open the drawer in one of the supply rooms, and I've taken out a box of full pictures and letters. Sitting on the top of the piled up papers was the letter addressed to me, Lorianne. I stayed inside for a few days after I read the letter. I finally decided to go visit my parents after 6 years. But, while I'm gone, what should I do with Popo? We're gonna leave Popo safe at home. September 13th, 2005. A calming fog was wrapping the old yet nostalgic road. The air was bitter and the sun was nowhere to be seen. I was the only one out on the road that day, with a letter sitting on the passenger seat right next to me.
Dear Lord, this is my first letter to you. I've decided that from now on, I should write to you every now and then. This way, I can stand still in your memory, so you can see how far you've reached. Personally, I'm not too fond of the name Lorraine, but I think it suits you better. I should come visit them once in a while. I'll be waiting here alongside them. Take care and strike for the best. Signed, Mary.
Okay. That was 6 years ago. In the end, Lorianne wasn't such a bad name. Right now, I'd be ashamed to go by any other names. It's been 6 years since the accident. I don't want to be associated with it anymore. I'm sorry for your death, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry for what happened that day, and for not coming sooner to see you guys. I still love you, like I always have, but given the circumstances, I just couldn't bear to live within our town like that, especially with you two no longer being with me. I do miss my home, my friends, but most of all, I miss you. But right now, I couldn't be more relieved that I no longer live there. Maybe it's too much to ask for forgiveness, but I hope I can still be your little daughter. I'm almost in front of the town's entrance. After that day, I was completely lost, but with time, I managed to gather myself up. I moved to the big city and finished grad school. I've always been hired by a modeling agency. I brought some magazines which feature me. Many things I want to show you. My life has been amazing. And I would have liked to have you two witness my achievements. But that's why I'm coming, to make you proud of me. Just like I am. Rip. As a person, I might have been strong, but as a human, I was weak. I've been suffering from phonophobia. What? Which means I get triggered easily by that. That's good, because I was going to make a phone joke. Any high-pitched noise or sudden ones. Starts with the gap forming in my chest, and as it extends, it feels like a piercing my entire body, little by little. Wasn't sure when I've been hit, but the impact was strong enough to stop the whole car. Ah, my head. What the heck was that? As soon as I regained consciousness, a gruesome smell filled my lungs. A rotting, decaying smell, like a rat's insides merging with a wooden floor. What's that smell? Ugh. I removed my seatbelt and made my way out to the car. I took the letter. Taking the letter. It's a telephone pole. My stomach started rolling and nodding itself, and then... Ugh. The rusty liquid was burning my throat as it was feeling the stomach. Fleeing the stomach. Ugh, it smells like a corpse in here. I walked further from the car, which now the front side's completely smashed. After I distanced myself a few meters away, I took a look at the surroundings. Town shouldn't be too far from here anyways. Look back at the car. God damn it. Now my car is broken too. As if I don't have any other things to care about. What am I supposed to do now? I need someone to pick it up. I don't even know what the hell I've hit. There was something standing in my way. Whatever. As I picked up my flip phone, I noticed there was no signal. No signal. And I'm standing right in the array. I know for sure there was a signal tower somewhere here. Ugh. Blast this damn phone. After a few other tries to pick up at least one line signal, I gave up. Well, like I've said, town isn't too far. Just gotta go by foot. Started walking towards the town. I'm about half a kilometer arrived. Not too bad. There we go. Welcome to St. Bell Fields, the westernmost town. I've arrived in town. It was so silent. I could only hear the road calling me to keep walking. There was no one out, because as I expected with this weather, alright, I've made it. God, It looks even more lifeless than I remember it. And this fog literally annoys me. I can't see shit. Hello? Anybody? Need some help, please? As I was walking, I noticed a piece of paper in the middle of the road, alone. What's this? Looks like some kind of letter. And yeah, obviously.
Dear Lorraine, I've made it. These past stressful months are finally over, and it was all worth it in the end. I've graduated, Lorraine. I've got my diploma. Almost perfect scores, but that's more than enough. Per town, from what I know, I have the best scores, but it doesn't matter anymore. Now I'm only fighting to outstand my own self. I have nothing but the blue sky forward, waiting for me to paint stars all over it. I'm so happy. Not only that, but I'm done with driving school too. I'm a driver now. I can go to the city whenever I want to now. I can go shopping whenever and wherever I want. I'm an adult. I'm finally standing on my own two legs. My parents won't need to punish me anymore. For now I stand by my own, shining over them. And I'm so proud and happy. I'm so grateful they've pressured and invested so much in me, because it's paying off in the end. They deserve everything. And I've made up my mind. Even though it may not be my call, I'll pursue architecture. It's my gift of gratitude for my parents, and they know what's best for me. I hope you'll remember this moment, Lorraine. All I've gone through was for you. I wish you all the best. Signed, Mary.
July 15th, 1998. This is from Mary. How extraordinary. Congrats. I'm happy to hear she is well. But this letter is indeed outdated. What is it doing here on the ground? Hell yeah. I've taken the letter. Hell yeah, we'll be letter collectors. Where was that one auto service? If only there would be someone to ask. I feel so lonely here. Just like back in the old days. I just hope no one will recognize me. It was hard enough to even walk outside after the accident. Everyone here knows me. They all hate me. For them, I'm just a murderer. The day of the accident didn't bring death just to my parents. As I was driving, I crashed into another car, and its driver, middle-aged man, also died. I was free of charges, but that didn't hold people back from treating me like I was not to blame. Slowly, I just isolated myself from everyone. Their piercing stares were tearing at my soul, and I was already enduring enough. After walking for a while, I stood my place in the middle of the road, contemplating. The unmoving scenery drained my energy, and I wasn't sure where to go. Do I go forward from now on? I'm not even sure if there is an auto service this way. It just made sense there to be one. My memories of this town are so old, and there's no one. Why is there no one? Is it the weather? Maybe they knew I was coming. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran away just because of that. I feel so unwanted here. God damn it. Why am I thinking all of these again? For God's sakes, I'm just gonna try calling somebody then. 122 for emergencies. It was 112, not 122.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
El cliente de servicio móvil al que llama no se encuentra disponible. Favor de intentar más tarde.
Message 1. US01 LV.
What if I was attacked just now? To hell with your services. I remember, I know there's a gas station nearby, and also a mini market. I hope I'm right this time. Maybe I should check those places, see if anyone's working. Alright, should get moving. I continued to walk. The town was empty, and at least at first glance. But with every step I took, I just felt getting closer and closer to something, like a presence. I was alone, but I wasn't. Something was watching me. I wish I wasn't walking alone now. Maybe I should have got Popo with me. A toy would have made this scenery at least a bit more pleasant. It's weird to talk to myself, alone. At least he listens to me. A nostalgic warmth wrapped me, as I began to hear in old voices. Mother, is this really right for me? I mean, drawing these shapes constantly, always limited by physics and all that. It feels so blunt. Like, it's not a problem for me. Way better than this, Mom. You know how when I was younger, I used to draw clothes? And I dreamed of becoming a fashion designer. Mom? Yes, sweetie, we've talked about this, and you agreed with us, remember? Now leave Mommy alone for a bit. There's something not clicking here. Why did I just remember that? I miss her. After walking for a while, I arrived in front of the market. Looks great. And this time, it was closed, and not just for the day, but for the rest of the days. It shut down, from what I was able to tell. This town didn't resemble my memories of it. But yet it felt so far from what I remembered it to be. It just felt like a sad, mournful, bitter blanket had laid upon it while I've been gone. And I miss it, even though I used to fear it so much. After all, it wasn't the town which was holding me, rather its people, with their disappointed looks drifting into my direction before I rapidly clearing them from their sight, avoiding me in shame. But still, it's the people that make the town what it is. It looks almost like I remember it. It's just slightly changed. I remember when the entrance was full of people. I remember when I used to come here with my friends. I wasn't really the type to go out, but my friends cared enough to take me somewhere. It wasn't because I was antisocial or anxious or anything weird like that. I chose to stay inside. There was nothing weird about it. I mean, I never felt that because of it. I remember we would buy cheap chocolate ice cream, and sunflower seeds. And then we'd go to the park and talk for hours. I want to go see that part 2 while I'm still here. This mini market is also the place from where my dad bought Popo for me. I was 8 years old. When I got back home, I'll tell Popo I visited his old house. I'm curious if he remembers it. Close your eyes, sunshine. Why? Go on, close them. Okay. What do you feel? It's fluffy and fuzzy. What is it? Can I open my eyes? You can open them now. A teddy bear. You like it? Yes, I love him. Thank you, Dad. Are you going to give him a name? Yes, his name will be Popo. I felt like I was 8-year-olds again. This memory filled my body with warmth again. It didn't take long until the rather cold, voiding feeling embraced me. No matter how much we rewind the time and relive our memories with our closed eyes, we'll never be able to actually turn back the time. It was this feeling of helplessness which turned my sudden happiness upside down. Sometimes the happiest memories hurt the most. I went to take a closer look. On the wall, next to the other degraded posters and flowers, was a letter. Oh, it's Mary again. Well, let's read the letter.
Dear Lorraine, it's been 3 months now. I couldn't bring myself up to do anything. All I could do is just stare at the 13 cheap plastic fluorescent stars above my bed and hold Popo in my trembling arms. I wasn't able to take care of myself properly. I just wore the same clothes every day. I ate the same cup soup every day. I wasn't even able to wash myself. My stomach was constantly hurting. I was always dizzy, always surrounded by a disgusting mess and smell, and have gone through sleepless nights. I don't want to tell you all of these, because But you're the only one I have. Every day I feel like I'm drifting further away from you, from others, and from life itself. One of the neighbors took care of me, feeding me, and making sure that I'll last at least one more day. But I can read her masked disgust on her gestures. Maybe this is the punishment for what I've done. I just feel so shameful for even writing to you, asking for your pity. I know you'll choose to forget me, and that's probably better. I won't ask you to look back. Knowing you're there somewhere is enough for me. But sometimes I just wish you could give me a sign to keep on living. Signed, Mary.
Damn. Alright. Oh, Mary, I can't even imagine what you're going through. But what happened to you? God, I hope she's better now. I don't know her, but I want to. I want to meet Mary. I've taken the letter. I mean, we are married, right? That's the idea. After I've stood in silence, embracing my memories for a little longer, I continued on walking. There it is, the gas station. I remember coming here frequently in the last days before leaving, being so close to the town's outskirts. There were less people, and I just felt a bit more safer buying snacks and cigarettes from there. It's been a good year since I quit smoking. Wait, I think I see someone. They're going behind the building. That's strange. Hello? Hey, wait a sec. Gone. The blurred silhouette walked slowly until it disappeared around the corner. I didn't know who they were, but I felt kind of familiar for some reason. I was far enough not to catch them this time. Their aura fascinated me. It was definitely a girl, wearing a skirt, a black leather one, with short brown hair and high-heeled boots. She reminded me of myself. I tried to catch her up, but I couldn't really run with what I was wearing. Only barely. I followed her around the corner where she went. It was led to a public restroom door. She's probably inside. I'll just wait for her until she's ready then. Finally, someone who can help me. Huh? Stepped on something. It's a letter from Mary.
Dear Lorraine.
Dear Lorraine.
I'm not sure if what I'm doing is right. Lately, I haven't felt motivated to do anything. I'm just contemplating. I've always liked to observe and draw. I like watching people out my room's window, seeing them smiling or crying. I like to see them interact with one another. And when their emotions trigger their wrinkles, when their eyes shine, I just pick up my pencil and draw them. Face, body, clothes, moving or standing. I just draw them living. I may not have a great social life, but I never felt lonely. Alone, sure, but never lonely. Or so it used to be. Isolating myself by just observing had its perks, but downfalls as well. And now I begin to feel guilty doing it. I mean, it's not my purpose, isn't it? I'm studying architecture. My parents agreed to let me study there. I had to convince them that I can do something by drawing. But is this really what I wanted? Lorraine, whatever happens, I just hope you're happy right now, and that all of these questions and concerns have been answered for you. Please forgive me, and give me a sign I'm doing what is right. Please come find me and show me the way. Signed, Mary.
April 4th. Mary, who are you? And where are you? Is Mary the one I should be looking for? She needs my help, doesn't she? But why would I look for her if I don't know her? Should she be here in this town? After all, I'm not alone here. But I don't know anyone named Mary, don't I? What's with this girl so much? She still hasn't come out. Should I go inside? I mean, it's a public restroom after all. Oh yeah. Reached out of the door's handle with my hand and wrapped it gently. I began to grip it firmly, ready to open the door. The handle moved very stiffly, but I managed to open the door. I heard a click and felt the door slightly pulling away from me, dragging my hand with it as I held it. I opened the door. Guys, run. As soon as I regained control of my body, I bursted out of the public bathroom. My ears continued to hear the demeaning sound of pain. My heart beat fast like an animal's being chopped. I felt sick again. I felt like it coming out of me again. As I laid my eyes on the ground, my vision darkened itself. I began to cry. My whole body was turned upside down. I stood there, lying on the ground, trying to stop my tears as I gripped the dust in the ground. Mom, Dad, no, what have I done to you? Popo, where are you? I want to go home. I don't know how much time I remained in silent on the ground. Eventually, I did get up, and I continued walking forward. I kept walking, not sure where I was going. I continued to step forward as the memories rumbled in my head, eagerly trying to make me remember something more than I wanted to. Thinking back on it, the sole reason for which I came back here was to see my parents again. After such a long, deep breath in which I've deserted myself, I've been kept seeing things which could only be dream remembering again. I knew where my parents were, but I was afraid to admit to myself I knew. I've seen them in such a horrible place. And not just them, but that other poor man as well. I was indeed a murderer, and it felt like the remorse for my actions was never enough. My tears were never enough. My shame was never enough. My pain was never enough. Killing myself was the escapism which my heart couldn't have allowed me to afford. I wanted to live a painful life in order to pay for what I've done. To show them I was sorry and I feel somewhat better. I wanted to fulfill my deserved punishment. But soon, I realized that the burden I was carrying on my shoulders was too much for an already torn apart soul like mine. I was walking with no direction, yet it felt like I knew exactly where I was going, even though I didn't. The endless roads drained me, merging with the fog as I deepened myself into the town's roots, and I felt more and more lost in the endless maze of grief. After a few more minutes, I arrived. Oh, there we go. This is the place, isn't it? There's so many. It hurts to look at all of them. I feel unwanted, but I guess that's how I felt all the way here. It's so quiet. Where could they be? Mom? Dad? I hope they can hear me. I wish I could hear them too. There's something odd about this place. The tombstones don't look as they should. These are not crosses, aren't they? But what are these? I feel like I've seen them before. I should know, right? I went to take a closer look at each tombstone. I was right. These weren't regular ones. Actually, I don't think they were tombstones in the first place. They had dates and titles written on them. I began to read each of them, hoping for a condolence. Second place, Math Olympiad, 1996-2000. First place, Art Contest, 1997 to 1999. First Vivian Westwood Jewelry, 1996 2001. First Barbie Doll, 1986 to 1999. First Time at the Beach, 1991 to 2000. First Kiss, 1996 to 1999. 18-year Anniversary, 1998 to 1999. Popo Joins the Family, 1988. Started Writing Letters, 1989 to 1999. Graduating High School, 1988 to 1999. Driver's License, 1988, 1999. Car Accident, 1998. What are all of these? These are not people. No, those are not people, Lorraine. It's weird. They seem to be some kind of dates. I mean, I do remember some of them. Popo, the accident. What are these time periods? I don't think I know all of them, but they feel oddly familiar. In the distance, fog covering the graveyard, a familiar silhouette appeared. It's that girl again. Hello, can you hear me? I ran fast as my clothes were allowing me to, getting myself finally in front of this mysterious girl. The meeting felt almost surreal, but I was finally standing in front of the girl I once chased after the gas station. This time, there was no corners behind which she could make herself disappear. We were standing face to face, eye to eye. It's a me. And that's a she.
Lorraine? You are the one at the gas station earlier, right? It was you, right? Is it really you? Do we know each other?
There's some drums going on.
Sort of. What are you doing here?
The mixing is not so great, though. Hold on, let's see if we can... References? Well, you see, I can't remember. I don't know. The moment I had spoke my needs out, my brain just froze, and I entered the dark as memories began slowly descending into dust. I know I was looking for someone to help me, but there was no one around here anymore. Where are the people? People? Why would there be people around here? What do you mean? It's a town, my town. I've lived here and I know the people, just like they know me. Is that how you see it? The girl's nonchalance mixed with her sense of subtle humor for my arrival depends on the question inside my head, as I began to feel more uncomfortable as everything was losing the sense of coherence. She was looking at me with a soft grin on her face, her red lipstick losing its shade, fading around the edges. As she herself appeared clueless in regards to the reason I was here, just like me. I don't want to be rude, but may I ask what you're searching for? Why you're searching for your parents right here? The girl suddenly stepped closer, dragging me in for a warm hug, filled with nostalgic scent. The fabric of her pullover was rubbing against my skin, a fabric I haven't worn much lately. I've been waiting for you, Lorraine. I've missed you. After 1 minute of holding me, she stepped back. But I don't know you. I'm Mary. The name Mary repeated in my primordial actives, filling my head with a sense of unease, yet closure. For I finally found and met the person carrying the name I've been looking for after without realizing it. He was the only person other than me breathing the same old rusty air crossing this town's roads. Mary? You are Mary? Does this mean you're the one who wrote these letters? Yeah, those are mine. They were written for you, but I guess they never reached you. Then I guess they simply became pawns of the wind. I lost the foggy field of this town. Lost on the foggy field of this town. One of the letters did reach me. I have it with me here. You asked me to come visit you and my parents. It reached you? Mary takes the letter with her thin hands, feeling the texture of the paper touched by the dust of time. How extraordinary. But Lorraine, why now? Why only now, after so much time? I don't know. I wanted to come sooner, believe me. But I guess it just wasn't right time for me. I've always been late for everything. And because of that, I've ended up suffering a lot. But I'm pursuing change. You have changed a lot. I mean, you look so different, but in a good way. I like your boots. I know they're boots because I recognize them. We're both wearing the same ones, see? I guess that, back in the old days, I thought people could never change. And they don't. Unless they get hurt really bad. I've been alone here for a very, very long time. And I'm glad you're here, Lorraine. A soft shiver ran down my spine as chattered tears tremble on the water lines of my eyes, yet they have remained held in. Mary fascinated me. She wasn't like other girls, in a way that she didn't feel like a human. Talking to her and hearing her clean-toned words flowing felt like reading an old poem, kind you would write in high school in a romantic regret. I've paused a bit before I spoke again. Mary, you've known my parents, right? I know them, yes? I know this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I've already told you earlier, but could they still be alive? I'm not able to give you a concrete answer, but do you believe they are? I stared at the ground silently. Lorraine, was it my letter which brought you here, or was it something else? My parents called me. They phoned me. Mary's enthusiasm seemed to fade just slightly. She was patiently studying my words. I see. I can't give you an answer, but in case they might still be alive, I think you know where they could find them. You do? Where? Tell me. Hearing Mary's comforting words of hope made me smile again. And all I wished for was time I know they still loved me, and knowing they might have the chance to hear their voices again and their answer. My eyes lit with sincere wrinkles on their corners. On the Street of Hope. The block with willows. There are 3 staircases. The second one is the one you're looking for. I can come with you if you want. I'd be happy to spend more time with you now that you're here. Come on, Mary, let's go. Alright, thank you. Really means a lot for you. Okay, I know. But before we leave this place, I want to know, is this really a graveyard? Mary smiled softly, gazing upon the large yard. It is a graveyard for memories. Mary gets closer to one of the tombstones. She placed her palm on the surface, and it was written following a car accident in 1998. See? The name of the memory and the year it happened. Unlike others, this one doesn't have a year, it was forgotten. You still remember it, all the painful detail, don't you? I do. Well, thank you for letting me know. We began to slowly descend from the graveyard and started heading towards the location Mary had given me. Street of Hope, the block with the willows. The street running beneath our feet felt endless, yet they became less tiring. As we were passing house by house, the tree by tree, the air filled itself with light and once used to know. I began to feel warmth and happiness seeing the old town after so many years, watching it, empty as it was. Felt like I was observing an old recovered artifact in a museum. Covered in a cold protective glass wrapped in dust, a testimony for those many years which have passed. The cold, lonely atmosphere which the town was emanating made me feel distant from it, unable to touch it, as if it was preserved. I felt right for me to walk these streets again, because this was my hometown. My home, which I've denied I missed for many years. But now here I am, closer than ever to my home, in the town's large garden of my childhood. I've missed this town. I remember walking these streets endlessly when I was younger. You weren't really the type to go out, but when your friends would take you out, you would walk for hours indeed. There wasn't much we could do here, but it was enough to keep us together. Instead, we had each other to entertain ourselves. Mary, is this green park still there? Of course, why wouldn't it be? Is it perhaps on our way? I would really like to walk through it again. Yeah, I can take you to see it. There's also the town's river, Aurora. I'd like to take you there too. Thank you, Mary. Makes me really happy to hear these words coming from you. They're both on our ways. They're both in our way. So which do you want to see first? I want to go where you want to go. All right, but we'll have to hurry. If you wish to see both. Why is that? Well, you see, the sun will set soon, and I don't want to be the night catches us. Oh, I see. But why? When you're alone in the dark, even more unsettling and painful, and it's dangerous. Dangerous in what way? There's no one here, right? Yes, it's true, but even though I've been alone here, I'm alive because I managed to survive. Survive what? Lorraine. I do live here. This town is not safe. Neither for me, nor for you. That's why you left. My decisions to leave had nothing to do with it being safe or not, but what makes it unsafe? Then why did you leave? Well, I left because there was no need for me to be here anymore. And everyone kind of estranged me from them. I began to feel unwanted, avoided, and I wanted more from my life than just to rot here alone forever. I wanted more from my life too. Everything was stolen from me because of that. There's no place for me to go to, so I have to stay here. Killed every day by feeling unwanted. It wants to kill me, Lorraine, and it's so hard to fight it. Staying hidden in my room every day, shedding my tears to not make a noise, avoiding it at all costs. When night falls, with its cold blanket on this town, I feel the loneliness. And those who are lonely, like me, become its prey. Prey to what? You have already seen it. It is everywhere. It consumes you. Mary describes to me the very thing which is bothering me all alone here. The painful absence-presence which continuously felt in this town. Reminiscent of the accident, all of its weight, which was followed after, began to form a sense as it followed, caught shape through Mary's words. The constant rambling, running through my stomach, rotting me from the inside, became real. Oh God, right? What's wrong? Her words of concern have synthesized in shivering whispers of wind, too harsh to make sense of. After I freed myself of the agonizing acid storm within me, I felt empty, too empty. Able to feel the inner tissues of my stomach sucking on each other. I felt like my stomach was about to implode. I fell to the ground, taking a break. Mary was there all along, but I can't remember her words. After I managed to get up, we continued walking. It didn't bother Mary. It did bother Mary with more questions, since this subject seemed to upset her as well. I made my promise to her to be quick about my reunion with the town's ancient places, and we continued to seek them. After a while, we made our way to the Aurora River. Out of all the places I've recalled through this unheralded stroll in the past, this place stood out the most. It felt, in a way, more lively, despite the agonizing fog, reminiscent of how quick everything took its turn for the worst, ending in pain. Perhaps it was the dim lights, the way they shone even though there was nothing to cast the light upon. The way they shone on the water's reflection kept the river's bottom floor unseen to the wandering eyes. When I do go out, I like to walk along the river. The only place that is lit up. The only shining light I can see is here. Light brings hope. It's really beautiful. I can see why you prefer the river now. Yeah, the water here really is the cleanest mirror around here. That's fair. I went with Mary near the river's edge to see our reflection. And as peeking my eyes into the water's reflective void, I saw myself. My reflection has changed from who I used to be, but standing right next to Mary made it look familiar again. We're so different from one another. What do you mean? Just look at us. We look like people in two different people. Well, of course we do. I'm Lorraine and you are Mary. Yeah, I'm Mary and you are Lorraine. I want to tell you that. You've got great style. And you really stand out for someone living here. The clothes? They look like Titanic's colors palette. What? Titanic. They said the unsinkable ship, which struck an iceberg and sank into the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. You're a cool chick, Mary. Thanks. I'm sorry. I'm not used to getting compliments. It's alright. I know how you feel. I've been there too. And I know how it feels to feel alone. I know how it is to feel alone. I know how it is to not have anyone there for you. But you're no longer alone, Mary. You have a friend in me now. You got a friend. Thank you, Lorraine. You know, when I would feel lonely, I would go and walk with my teddy bear. Teddy bear? No, it sounds stupid. No, it doesn't. What is his name? Popo. Mary's eyes shone bright at the sound of Popo's name, drawing a pure soft smile, plushing her cheeks up, wrinkling her soft eyes. He's at home now, waiting for me. Popo, you say? Yeah, he's been my companion ever since. He's everything to me. All my memories, all my happiness, all my sadness. You know, I had a teddy bear too. His name was also Popo. And just like yours, he has seen me at my best and my worst. But I guess he's watching over someone else now. Do you believe in coincidences, Lorraine? Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose. You know, whatever. They are part of what makes life... Yep. Do you? It doesn't matter if I do or not. After all, how would you know if it was a coincidence or not, or if there was no one there to share it with? I suppose that loneliness is the harsh habitat that eventually will require you to adapt to it. And forget your usual accommodations. I can tell you how to adapt as well. The way you look at me right now is your response to life, just to choose. It's your shield. But my question is there still something left behind your cold shield that needs protecting? Or did it consume itself without you even realizing? I can't really remember my response to Mary's words, but I'm sure that whatever I would have said to her, deep down within my true self, I quietly agreed with her. Her words were full of truth, and even upon hearing them, they might have not meant to be so much. I didn't understand it at first, or maybe I was just shielding myself from her questions, just like she said. We spent a few more minutes watching the river slowly under the dim lighting, and then we continued walking. We soon arrived at the Green Park, which I was hopeful to see again. It's going to be good. Everything was at its own place, just like I recall, although it was slightly defying my memories. As its nostalgic colors faded in agonizing gray, just like the other places I visited. We're here. This is Green Park. Yes, it is. The benches I used to sit on are still here, with their countless hours of chat and eating sunflower seeds. You liked it there. Even with your people passing by, you still felt like you could have your own intimacy. We used to draw everything our eyes could catch. Remember when one old lady asked for your sketch of her? She was willing to pay you. You gave it to her for free. We love watching the elders, just enjoying their evenings here, alone in their thoughts. We admired them. Do you still draw, Lorraine? I don't, actually. Oh, why? Have you still studied architecture? I did, but I didn't do it for me. I guess it was just a way to wash away my guilt. I wanted to feel free and good again. I've stepped away from drawing as a whole. I don't want to be involved with it anymore. Mary's eyes seemed half filled with a slight shade of solitude. I see. That's a shame. I mean, you do you. I just didn't expect that, but I understand why you choose to stay away from it. I do miss it, but I don't want to risk triggering myself. I've been dealing with enough problems. Tell me about them. Well, one thing is phonophobia. Phonophobia, yeah, it's a loud noise that can trigger me. The effects range from feeling suffocation, anxiety, chest pain, fainting. That's horrible. But you're getting better, right? It doesn't impact your life that much, right? It does impact me enough, but I'm dealing with it. I'm no longer being dragged down by any inconveniences. After all, we're the only ones to blame for the shit that happens to us. I have to live with it, alongside others. I guess you're right. Gosh, Lorraine, I'm so sorry. Don't be. Sorry for still asking, but you said you've finished architecture school? What did you do with your degree? Nothing. I did nothing. But then, what do you do for work? I'm a model. You're a model? Yes. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't either. But this is how I turned out in the end. No matter how much I've worked and prepared myself, life has proven to me that having control over it is just an illusion. Life is just a game of luck. And we're gambling our remaining time alive. That's why sometimes it can be beautiful and other times it can be harsh. At least you're happy, right? I am. I like to think I am. It feels so great to have people admiring you and aspiring to be like you. But maintaining this image is not the greatest of things. Looking in the mirror always reveals something wrong with me, something which could be enhanced. My body has to fit in the required standards, otherwise I lose the job. I have to be careful with what and how much I eat, how much I weigh. It's a lot of pressure. Sometimes I wonder if it's really happiness or just me misrepresenting the pressure. Yep, misinterpreting the pressure, I guess. In order to cope with it. Mary looked sad after hearing about the reality I have to live in, but she still put in a comforting smile. I'm sure you'll sort it out eventually. That's why you're here after all. Mary's words circled my head as we sat on the bench, breathing in the park's nostalgic air. A short, brief time passed, and we began moving again. As we concluded our little detour, serving as a nostalgic stroll through the remaining dusk memories, we were finally getting closer to the Street of Hope. The road was still lit, but only barely through the thick layers of fog. As we walked, we passed by an unfinished house. The house was all alone, with only a large field behind it, which would have made for a beautiful garden. Couldn't see the sun because of it, but it was, I could see red clouds embracing the sun as it was staining the sky one final time before setting down. It felt so painful, almost like it was dying, and it made me wonder if I will rise again tomorrow. Oh, if it will rise again tomorrow. Looked at Mary, who had been silent for the last few minutes, and it became clear. I could tell she was concerned while hurrying, although she kept her composure perfectly. We were late. We were too late to start heading towards the Street of Hope if we wanted to make it there before dawn. Time felt like it had frozen, but the harsh truth is that it was always ticking faster than we thought. Time did not wait for us, but I guess that's because we didn't spend it like we should have either. For as long as I can remember, I've always been fighting the ticking of time and always caught. It is worth even imagining that having control is possible when I can handle when I can't even handle time. Yeah, I knew it was bad. I could read it on Mary's sharp eyes and on her soft, shut lips. It's okay, Mary. We'll make it. Can you please hurry up? I'm trying to. It's rather hard to move in these leather pants. Yeah, I bet. Hey, what's the matter? What's with this attitude? My attitude? Well, who else's? Mary, why are you yelling at me? I'm not yelling, Lorraine. Please, just go and try and make an effort. I'm doing all I can, okay? What? You want me to fly too? It's getting dark. We have to hurry. Just please. Can't you just walk a bit faster? I'm doing all I can. Yeah, sure. All you can is just think about yourself. If you really cared about me, you would have tried. I'm trying, Mary. Jeez. You're the one taking it too personal. Why are you being so selfish all of a sudden? I'm selfish? I've waited 6 years for you, and this is how you treat me. You really changed, Lorraine, and I wasn't expecting you to be like this. I thought you'd be different. I thought you'd be the Lorraine I used to know. Now that you're here, there's nothing left for me to hope for. What am I supposed to do? Mary, I don't even know who you are. Because you're too full of yourself. You don't even try to remember. You only have eyes for you, not others. Well, Having eyes for others has only made me suffer. You need a heart to care. If you're suffering, of course you'll suffer as well. Well, if they're suffering, of course you'll suffer as well. But you just completely brushed this burden off your shoulders, didn't you? And what should I have done? You shouldn't have left. If you would have cared enough, you'd have stayed here. Just stay here and rot in my own tears like you? Stay here and be disregarded by everyone? I have a life, and I want to live it. Like I said, the only thing you care about is your own self. Well, at least I love myself. And all you care about other people and what they think about you. You wouldn't even care if you'd have to die as long as you'd please them. And neither would they. You think you're really mature for putting up with this very self-assured mask? Making it seem like nothing bothers you? Like everything is under control? Well, the truth is, you're just as miserable as I am. You act as if you're finally independent, having it all figured out, when in reality, you're just a child running away from your problems. It's all a facade, a performance, the worst one I've seen. I might run away from my problems, but at least that's one way to deal with them. Ignorance is bliss. You just sit here with all your troubles pressing up against your back, thinking that if you cry loud enough, they'll finally go away. You're not the one to tell me about my flaws and what to do. You care about other people, you pretend to love them. But how can you do that when you don't even love yourself? God damn, how are you gonna love somebody else if you can't even love yourself? Mary. Says the one who's blinded by their own self-love. You want to meet up with your parents after 6 years, but you really don't think just apologizing will make you feel better? Apologies won't solve anything. They are dead. Words are just excuses in the end. You're just like them. Well, you're just like them, and nothing more than just what they wanted. A machine only to be able to grow itself and by itself. I'm not like you, and I never wanted to be like you. I'd rather die alone here than be like you. No matter how much self-development you think you've achieved, you're just a selfish person in the end. You're not me. I'm not Lorraine. Lorraine is just what my parents wanted me to be. I always hated her, and it's because of her that they died alongside that man. Yet again, the memory of my reaction to Mary's harsh words was blurred. And I'm probably ignored them in the end, just like I taught myself to. I guess it was easier to just have blackouts whenever I think of something able to cast shameful shadow on me. But in my eyes, more than half of my life was lived in its darkness. Now, I was finally able to be surrounded by light all around me. But perhaps I was just simply blinded by the small glow which I furthered myself from. Lying to myself, I could reach to it once again today. I didn't want to admit it, but the truth is, I felt lonely again. Mary's merciless commentary was harsher than any of the other ones. I had to live with other ones I had to live with after my parents' death and after taking the innocent man alive. It made me feel miserable again, and it made me realize that I've never actually escaped people's critiques. I was just ignoring them. It has always been before my eyes, growing and twitching its rusty shapes into sharper and larger ones, deconstructing itself on the symphony of the oppressed agony, filling me with self-disgust. A fabricated, polluted balance, a twisted image of morality, an illusion of control, a degenerated mask, which no longer fulfills its role. A disgusting, slim figure, taking up too much space, constantly puking out all of its obesity, of vermins, strangling anyone it interacts with, closed up, isolated, decolored, covered in a dark veil of shame, only able to feed off others' misery in order to make its own one scream more softly. A degrading, toxic self-love consuming the body shell, letting its bones and veins leak out. Mary could see it. Her breath froze. Her eyes widened. Her skin became pale as sweat was dripping down her forehead, despite its obviously concerning presence. I was not able to see it, but I could feel it. The same feeling I thought it was chasing me since I arrived here, but actually, it had been chasing me long before I've made my mind to come back here. As I was staring in the deforming distance, it finally caught the shape I wished I could never see again. Mary, run. Run, now, Mary. No matter how much I shouted, Mary was able to move or do anything, and then Mary's eyes were open again. Her chest started bleeding, staining her yellow pullover. Stains got greater and greater. Her wound in her heart intensified. Her mouth filled with blood, gagging in a silent pain. It was too much for her. She couldn't handle it anymore. She began to cry tears of blood. But no matter how much she did, I couldn't do anything. Her right eye flooded itself with blood and it began to shut slowly as this side. Oh! Suddenly, Mary's neck snapped and she was gone forever. Rip Mary. I began to run, furthering myself from Mary's corpse. I couldn't look back. I was too afraid. I was too afraid to be consumed by just like Mary. Although, a side of me kept screaming her name, begging me to go back and hold her hand in the hopes of seeing her smile again. It was pointless. Mary was dead. Mary was dead because of me. I ran as far as I could, but yet again, the sheer disgust of myself was penetrating my esophagus. You get the throw up sounds again. Very nice. I vomited again, and the steamy, rusty taste never seemed to leave my mouth. It was stuck with me, a testimony of the fact I will never manage to cure myself, at least not this way. No matter how much it would occur, this distorted image of me will never leave me alone. It will never be enough. Mary. No. What have I done? No. Why is this happening to me? Why again? Why do I have to ruin it all again? Mary, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for everything I've said. I'm sorry for everything I've done. I'm sorry for leaving you alone, again, just like your parents did. You didn't deserve this, no. No one did, just me. I'm the one to blame. I shouldn't have been the one to die. I should have been the one to die, not you, Mary. Please forgive me, for I can't. I was again nothing more than just a murderer. I've sank into what I've been avoiding all these years. I've dropped another dear soul on the cold ground, leaving my hands stained in their blood. But Mary was different. I should have listened to you, Mary. I knew what was coming after us, after you. All I did was to complain. I mistreated you. Thought I knew you better when you clearly told me we were in danger here. I didn't even get the chance to say sorry for all those horrible things I told you. You know, I didn't mean them. You're wonderful, Mary. You should have heard this from more people. And I'm sorry I wasn't one of them. I was too late. And you'll probably never come back because of me. Even if I didn't know her, she held a deeper place in my heart than anything I know. Maybe I didn't realize this when I met her, but now I know for sure. I've been so afraid to let Mary reach my heart and see the world through her eyes. I've detached myself from her because of her vulnerability. Her vulnerability killed her, but at least she had lived true to herself, and her heart was beating like a human's. She was too kind for this world, so I've become everything but her. I want to see you again, Mary. Like I said, Mary was different, and the fact I cared more about her than my parents made me feel selfish. It made me feel miserable, or at least reminded me that I've been miserable all along. There's only one thing left to do, was to thank her. Thank you for your warm company, Mary. Thank you for enlightening the path I must follow. I promise I won't mess up again. Because of you, I now know where to look for my parents, and I'm no longer lost. I promise you that I'll change. I'll change no matter how many times it is needed for you to forgive me. I'll become the best I can. Having made this promise to Mary, I continue to walk down the darkened roads which will eventually lead me to the block with willows on the Street of Hope. I rushed to get there in time no longer be felt as it was already too late. Now it was only a matter of morality, which I did not want to stain more than I could have already done. How much longer do I have to walk? It's so dark. I feel like I've walked the same street for hours now. I can barely see where I'm going, yet I can feel this is the right path. I'm alone again. I don't like how I feel this. But I guess I could at least suck it up after what I've done. I just despise this emptiness. It makes me feel weak. I'd do anything just to have someone walking with me again right now. Wish I could have at least had Popo with me, because I should have brought Popo. That's fine. Should have brought him along. He's just a toy, but he reminds me of so many warm and joyful moments. And I think that right now, that warmth is what I need the most. Mary gave me the same warmth as Popo. At least he didn't get to see this mess I've done again. Sorry for everything. I truly am. I feel sorrow, and it's the right thing to feel this. What? But what should I do with it? I don't feel like I have the right to do anything because of the shame I feel. But at the same time, I feel like I could at least try to do something and show that I do care. But I'm afraid that would just make it worse. Sorrow is something that simply remains constant, no matter how deep I feel it. I won't repair anything just by letting it fill my heart. But should I even do something after everything has happened? I guess that's all left for me right now, is to walk and walk. Don't know how much longer I have to keep walking, but at least I know that each step gets me closer. At least I know I'm doing something that's not in vain. I kept on walking, but I don't know for how long. Time was something that did not matter anymore. My vision senses were becoming darker and darker as walking was slowly becoming an effort. There were slight moments when I would simply walk with my eyes closed, but when I opened them, I realized I was finally there. After countless streets and minutes of suffocating silence, I was finally on the Street of Hope, the one what I've been looking for too long. I didn't even notice that the fog was gone, and I was finally allowed to look forward, only limited to view the dark. This must be it. Finally made it. Just like Mary said, blocked with the windows. Well, one window. There's also a little kid park, but there are no kids playing anymore. Its colors are faded away. I went to take a closer look and it seemed the entry wasn't on that side, but the other. After I glanced a bit more at the nostalgic swings and slides, I came around the block and aside with the doorways. These are 3 staircases, Mary said. The second one is the one I'm looking for. The building looks so rusty compared to the other ones in my city. But I guess it's how they've been back then. Yep. I walked to the second staircase doorway. The door was pale and white, sealed up. Standing in front of it, I became submerged with a soft feeling of anxiety. But my chest wasn't hurting, and I could still breathe normally. It was somehow warm and welcoming, though I was still hesitating to make the next move. This is it. I have to call the intercom if I want to go forward. What if I'll hear their voice? Am I ready to hear them after everything? Am I deserving of hearing them again? I'm scared. What if they hate me? No. I made it too far to just give up again. Let's call the intercom. Position my finger on the round, small button, feeling the bump softly pressing against the tip of my finger. I felt frozen. I didn't want to move, but there were no excuses left. I didn't even remember the number I called, but I do remember every second of that feeling. Mom? Dad? Please be home. Diddly 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 do. A diddly 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 do. After a loud, irritating sound at the intercom, the door was opened. The door opened? Means they're here. They're really here. Yes, let's go inside. I dragged it by its handle and made my way in. It was cold inside, much colder than outside. The walls were freezing, and a rather sad tone was circulating the whole room. Before, there were a few steps leading to another door, which would lead me to the stairs. This is the mailroom. It's all empty. But I guess it's to be expected. Mary said there was no one around here anymore. I walked forward, entering the actual staircase, but it wasn't how I was expecting it. What happened here? There's no stairs leading upwards. It seems there's only stairs leading downwards. After learning that the only way was down the stairs, I looked up. An endless void full of doors which couldn't be reached anymore was staring down at me. So many doors. How was one supposed to reach them? They're so far away. Can't even see the ceiling, it's too dark. Took a step closer, reaching the stairs railing, and leaned forward again to sink my eyes into the inky distance. Damn it. I can't see the bottom floor either. Must be a long way down there. I should better start heading downstairs then. My parents are waiting for me. I've made them wait for too long. Go down the stairs. Let's go down the stairs. I started going down the stairs, pierced by the chilling walls full of molds, decaying on their own old memories. Every step taken could be heard throughout the echoing emptiness of the building. As I was going down, I noticed there were no doors. I looked one last time at the endless amount of doors hanging on the walls above me, fading out of vision. And then I continued descending myself into the darkness below. What could they be thinking of me right now? Could they be happy? Or are they mad? I'm not sure what I should say to them. If I'll just be myself, I might end up hurting them again. Like I hurt Mary. I don't know which are the right words. If I say I'm sorry, they'll just think I don't actually care. Because that's the only way I could interpret it. I've been away from home and from them for 6 years. Isn't it selfish for me to ask only for forgiveness? Do I deserve it? Is it the right thing for them to see me, or is it just the right thing for me? What I'm asking is if I deserve to see them. I've longed for this moment unconsciously for much time, and I've never given them closure. I've just distanced myself because of the sheer shame I felt and all the unspeakable guilt. I've taken someone's life, a poor innocent man's life, a man who surely had kids, which he loved so much, a man who had parents, who he also loved so much, a man who was simply living his life. Who was that man? I don't know, but I'm so sorry. Did he have a name? I don't know. But I'm sorry, I swear. What was that man? But not just him. I did something terrible. My hands will never be the young, pure, innocent ones my parents used to hold. These hands have they've killed. Who? After hearing that forever boundless voice, which was echoing within the dark walls within me, everything became white. Why's it gotta be white? Little lights of memories were blowing away the dust of ignorance and slowly became all clear again. The voices I had longed to hear were solidifying in my memory, their shape piercing reality. As they echoed, was slowly grounding itself. After I accepted the light, I saw. You're a great driver, dear. Thanks, Mom, but please, put your seatbelts on, both of you. It's okay, dear, the road's clear anyways. You know that's not a good habit. We've always let you not put your seatbelt on, honey. Too bad you won't get to sleep again in the back while your dad drives. Nah, if she wants to, she can. I'll always drive for her. Those times are gone now. She's no longer little. In my eyes, she'll be forever. Thanks, Dad. Well, of course she'll be my little daughter too, but now she won't stay with us forever. She might want to be by herself soon. You'll always be able to join me, you know. I won't even ask for permission. Dad. Our little birdie has finally learned to fly. You'll see. Once you start grad school, you'll see things differently. You'll prefer to be surrounded by people your age more, and that's okay. About grad school, I'm not sure about pursuing architecture. Why not? Isn't drawing your passion? It is, Mom, but I'm more into philosophy and the human psyche. Mary, let me tell you. All right. As a guy with a degree in philosophy, stick with architecture. The themes I want to explore through drawing are more abstract. When I practice architecture, I feel so grounded. Oh, I mean, if it's philosophy through art, that's different. Well, never said you can't draw what you like. I know, but I don't see myself really studying architecture. I mean, all the mediations I've taken didn't really speak to me. But we spent tons of money on them. We wanted to make sure you can apply it to architecture. We wanted to make it easy as we could for you. We know you love drawing, so we didn't want to steal it away from you. Of course. That's why we've made all these efforts so you can apply to architecture, for architecture, Lorraine. I know, and I'm so thankful. I've heard this really good art school in the same city. It's praised by many, and it's also known to help young people like me find jobs. But you're studying architecture, Lorraine. That's the thing, Mom. I don't want to. I'm more than that. Well, there's only less than that, sweetie. What? What job offers could art school provide? Well, there's a wide range of them. I want to speak my heart out to people through my drawings. Let's see what Dad has to say about this. I think you should listen to your mother. She's right. Is that it? Listen, sweetie. Your mom and I made sure to give you the best educational treatment. We did our best to find the best teachers to prepare you for this field. All our work and efforts was made in the end for you, okay? To make sure you could live by yourself just as happily and carefree as you have lived with us. Yes, Dad, but I don't see myself doing this and being happy. I know artists may not make the most of money, it's true, but all my life I've been about money and spending. And I don't think I want to chase that mentally. What mentally? Oh, mentality. Mentality of wanting to assure food you actually enjoy for dinner every day. The mentality of wanting to afford all the clothes from the brands you like. You think that Victoria Wood necklace you wear all the time was cheap? Vivian Westwood. Yes. You think that could be at the hands of everyone? Listen, dear. I don't doubt your incredible talent and potential. I'm aware you can create incredible things. But this is the safest option for you, and it's all about drawing, your one true passion. And about math and physics, too. Yes. You have the gift to be so talented with your hands and coordinate and also juggle with numbers and logic. Why not take the chance, sweetie? Well, because I want to take a different chance. You see, I've kept this inside from you ever since because I knew you wouldn't like this idea so much. But I finally built up enough courage to take this leap of faith. Look, there's one more week before the entry exam. Just try and think through, okay? I already did. day after tomorrow is my entry exam for the art school. I'm going to apply. But you can't. I can, Mom. I'm 18 years old and I make my own decisions. Well, sure, you can take the entry exam for your art school, but also take the one for architecture. And until the results come in, you'll still have time to think about it. Yeah, he's right. Can you do as such, right? Right? I heard their voice, but not from them, but rather from an old melody whose lyrics were too harsh at that time to pay attention to. Lyrics of an unfulfillable wish, lyrics of regret. A melody which was too much for me to fully listen to again. Mom, Dad, I remember. That day, the one which I've repressed within me so much. Looking back, I've been circling these stairs with no clue if they'll lead to where I want to. Maybe that was the mistake all along. Even back then, I didn't want them to guide me, but why? Was it worth it to stand up against them? Whatever I was fighting for, I've ended up dropping anyways. Why was I fighting for something I wouldn't desire anymore? Is there any point in setting down your intentions when life could be so unpredictable? I wish they could help me find the answers. They've been the closest to me. And yet, I was the furthest from them. Was their love worth sacrificing just for me to be happy? If you are happy, why would you think they wouldn't love you anymore? Because, I don't know. Because my happiness does not reflect the one they envisioned for me. Because I wanted to throw all their efforts in vain. Efforts for what? For everything, to assure a successful, happy life for me. They just wanted you to be happy. Then nothing can go in vain if you're happy in the end. I know, but are you happy? I don't know. Mary was always curious if I was. Whether she would hear of good for me, her eyes would simply lighten up. In all of her letters, she was waiting for me to tell her that I'm happy in the end. But I'm not sure if I was able to deliver that ending. I guess I was far from what she expected out of her life in every way. I might not be the happiest, but even if I were, I think she would still be disappointed. I failed to carry on her legacy. Mary was authentic as a person, and now no one will ever get the chance to meet her again because of me. I've promised myself to never think about it too deeply again. To forget everything, to start new, fresh beginning. But I'm furthering myself in the depths of this building. I feel like I'm also going deeper within myself. A place which I was so afraid to tap in before, and I still am terrified. That's why I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to be alone with my thoughts again. Because I'll always end up, well, not sad, but lost, I guess. I just want to go back. Can't keep running away. I'm 25 years old, yet I'm still acting like a kid turning 18. And so I hurt everyone around me. I've extinguished Mary so I can finally take matters into my own hands. To take action, because crying was no longer an option to me. But now I realize that I've never actually taken any action, or at least any constructive one. I've ran away from everything. Mary was right. She has the rights to be mad at me. Do you think she's mad at you? Probably. I'm not the person she aspired to be. She was happy that I came back here, back to her. But slowly, as we talked, she began to feel more distant with every detail of my life, and I would stare with her. It's not just because I still might be miserable. It's that maybe I haven't sorted things out. In her eyes, who knows? I might look like a psychotic slut. Complaining about having to run in leather pants? I'm pathetic. I mean, just look at how I'm dressed. This is how I want my parents to see me after 6 years? I look like a hooker. Okay, Lorraine, you don't look like a hooker. But I felt so beautiful. That's why I continue to dress up like this. Finally made me feel comfortable with who I am. That's why I love modeling, because I feel like at least a quarter of the stars which used to brighten my parents' days. For them, you're bigger than the sun. Your parents would be proud of you to hear this. But this is not what Mary wished for. And if she was not happy, then how am I supposed to be? I gave up what I meant for most of her. I gave up on everything that made Mary be Mary. Mary wanted closure. She wanted to know that her suffering, caused by representing her dreams within her, could be healed. She wanted me to heal this self-inflicted wound and give her hope for the future. She wanted to know her dreams could become reality. She longed for an answer. And confirmation to the know that sheer efforts and pain were not for nothing. She had no one. Even her parents would understand how important it was for her. I was the only one who could truly understand her and failed her. That is why she's been stuck here, because there was no light to dry off her tears. And coming here to see was probably a mistake. If she wouldn't have seen me, she wouldn't have still been alive. Still crying alone, but at least alive. Isn't it better that you put her out of her misery? Thanks, girl's voice. That's terrible. No. No. I killed her. I killed Mary. There could be no excuse for such a thing. I'm a murderer. I can't put her out of here. I can't put her out of her misery if I was the one who destroyed her life in the first place. I'm just a monster, and I can't keep finding excuses. I have to own up to my actions. I can't deny them anymore. If I do, I'll just lie to myself again. And I don't want to anymore. Don't want to live in a lie anymore. I want to be honest, and if I'm not with someone else, then at least with myself. I want to be aware of what I've done and what I'm doing. I want to be aware that I'm sad. I want to be aware that I'm not happy with how things are going. I want to be aware that I'm weak, that I need help. I don't want to lie anymore. I want my smile to be genuine, not just a weapon to show people what the great life I have. Because that's not true. I want to accept that sometimes, but it's just not that great. I want to accept that there are other people far better than me. Because there are, and I don't want them to envy them. Okay? I want to look up to them. I just don't want to be so stubborn anymore. I want to be aware that I'm not the best. Still feel encouraged and motivated. I lost myself trying to maintain my public image, trying to be perfect all the time. I'm not blonde. It's just dyed hair. Okay. Well, sure. That'll see on that one. I'm not healthy. I'm not healthy. I get triggered by loud noises, and that's a psychological problem. I like to eat. I love food, but lately I've started puking it out. And I even lied to myself about it. I'm struggling with my weight and my body. And throughout all the good things about me are just lies. I don't even know who I am anymore. But you do know who you are. You are yourself. No. I'm not myself. I'll never be me. I can't be myself. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. The only thing that I am is a monster. I've put my ambitions of becoming again a normal person before being a human. I'm not. Why do you think you are a monster? Because I've killed. I killed my parents. I killed a man. And I killed Mary. People who are very important to me, but also people who had nothing to do with. And it's all because I was selfish, and I still am. Why did I decide to end the life of someone whose name I don't even know? Someone I've never interacted with. Why did I kill someone? Try to remember who he was. I don't know. I just know that he was happy. I know he was smiling in the car, even if he was driving alone. He knew where he was driving, and he had no worries. And then I suddenly appeared. I probably crashed into him. I can't tell for sure. Remembering it would mean I'd have to remember. Can you do it for me? I'm not sure I can. I'm scared. I don't want to. You don't want to lie to yourself anymore, right? That's true, but it's too painful. My heart can't bear that image anymore. It hurts so much. You have to remember. That is why you came here, to remember. Remember. I felt too ashamed to pursue refusal. I had let myself in. Let myself in the cold arms of near death. I stopped on the stairs, grabbing tight on the railing of anxiety that was building up, trying to remember something like I felt trying to twist a knife in my own stomach. But yet, I had to do it in order to survive. Ignorance from a bliss became pure poison, and I had to puke it out immediately. And so I stepped back again in the light. No. No, honey. No, Mom. All my life, I've tried to make you both proud by doing what I wanted me to do. But now, I want you to be proud of me for who I really am. And I don't care how hard it will be. I'm willing to put all of my effort, and I'm willing to work for it. I will earn my true happiness, and I'll earn your respect as well. I appreciate your determination. I really do. I can't find my words, but your strong will really is a great virtue. But you have to understand us as well. As your parents, we would be devastated if you wouldn't manage. Stop making it about you. If I don't manage, you think I'll fail in life, don't you? Do you really think I'm that naive and oblivious to this world? This is why you ground me to stick... What? This is why you ground me to stick only to your ways? Because you think I can't achieve anything on my own? You don't believe in me. Stop being so goddamn ignorant, Lorraine. This is not about us. It's about you. And let me live my life the way I want to. I'm not a trophy for you. Let me feel my own happiness. All you should care about is for me to be happy. That's what love is. But you? This love is not true. It's just controlling. How dare you? How dare you say that? Oh my god. What have I done to hear this? How dare you say we don't love you? Apologize to your mother, Lorraine. No. My name's Mary. It's about time you should accept that I'm not the only one who's flawed here. It doesn't matter if you love me if you don't feel your love. You selfish brat. That was my flaw. I gave too much to you without demanding your appreciation. You are so ignorant, Lorraine. They will eat you alive. They will mop the floor with you. Because you don't know a single thing about this world and about life. And me and your dad wanted to make sure you won't have to deal with it. To deal with what we had to go through. Because life is not easy, Lorraine. And your judgment, right now, just proves how little you still are. It is about you. And it was always about you. Your achievements are important to us. Because yes, your life is yours. But our life is you. Not because of your simple-minded reasons, like your pride or status, but because you are a child. You are our child, Lorraine. We want what's best for you, god damn it. Yes, and your vision of the best for me is not mine as well. The world has changed, and I will fight for it to change onward. The good old rebellious 18-year-old. You both come from a time in which even expressing yourself was a taboo. We don't live in that world anymore, and I don't live in that world. Why can't you just understand, Lorraine? You don't know this world, and it's true that we don't know it either, but that's why you can't afford gambling on our paths. Understand it. This is for the better good. You little artists will get crashed in no time. No one cares about your paintings as long as it doesn't serve them, Lorraine. If anyone would actually be willing to pay you, they'll do it because of pity. Okay, this is a different kind of horror game, you know? Mom's saying some horrific stuff. There's no place for artists and pathetic daydreamers like you in this world. Open your eyes, Lorraine. Stop calling me Lorraine. You're the one who should open their eyes, both of you, to your daughter. You don't know anything about me. They don't even know that I hate the name Lorraine. Why even bother naming me Mary if you won't even call me that? I'm not your Lorraine. I will never be your Lorraine, and I will never be what you want. Your Lorraine. And what you just told me earlier, I would rather die than hear this from my own parents. I hate you. You're getting off the road. Watch it. Off the road we go. Those are the last words I heard from my dad. Didn't get to hear my mother again. I did consider her words. I hope I've managed to open my eyes in the end. After we crashed, everything went black. I remember the ambulance sirens piercing the dry summer air. I can't remember much else that day. Only the blue sky shadowed by electricity poles. Standing above me while I was laying down. I couldn't move. I was only able to stare at the pole while all the commotion around me was unfolding. My senses were lost and I was fighting to grasp the air and breathe. I didn't realize what had happened, but I could feel pain waves traversing my body. I could hear people, but their voices were blurred. I wanted to call my parents, but I couldn't bring myself to say a word. It was too painful. Now you remember. Yeah, but I still don't remember the man. Because there was no man. He didn't kill anyone. It was all just a tragic accident, a consequence of carelessness. You were angry and you lost focus on the road. But in the end, you're not a murderer. You just couldn't bear living knowing that your parents died because of you. I'm not? It's true. Agonizing won't fix anything. Your mistake did have consequence felt by others, but you're not a murderer. And you've never been one. But everyone thinks I am. People's opinions will always be split, but the first and only one you have to convince is yourself. Most of them were just projections of your shame and guilt. The people who cared about you and wanted to help, but you were too focused on your own pain, and you pushed them away. You pushed everything away, and you still do for this day. I know it's true, and I'm just ashamed for not being able to just take this step and work with myself. But I can't deny it. No matter how you look at it, I did kill my parents. Accident or not, I was the one driving. The only thing you've killed that day was your fulfillment, leaving you empty of any integrity and love. You killed your love for your parents, and their love for you. The love for life, for yourself, and for your goals. But time can heal all wounds, and you don't have to kill yourself again overnight just to be reborn a better person. You need to embrace change, embrace your mistakes. Learn from them and be happy with yourself. You still have a bit of time left to make your right decision. She was right. I had to make up my mind quickly. Yet again, time felt like it could never wait for me, even for a second. I regained my vision, fading back, and again, down the dark stairs, and I soon finally there. I've made it. I've reached the bottom. There's a door numbers missing, but it's the only one, so it must be it. Guess we should knock on the door. Knocked on the door, and then it slowly swung open, and there it was, my home. Mom, Dad, hello, I'm home. It's me, Lorraine. You know, you may no longer be here, but I know it would be impossible to find you here. But it didn't stop me from hoping. You can hear me. I want you to know that I'm home now. Finally home, and I've missed it so much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything. I'm not sure if you can forgive me, but I just wish to still be a little girl. To make you too proud of me. I need you, and I'm so happy to be back. And with these being said, please excuse me for coming inside. I walked inside, feeling embraced by the dust filling the room. Despite the ancient time-wrapped walls, their rust was welcoming, and their cold colors were warming to my heart. A tight hallway decorated with hanging colorful carpets and small hanging pictures was connecting the entrance doorway to 5 other rooms. A small bathroom, a living room with a dinner table, 2, a kitchen, my parents' bedroom, and the end of the hallway, my bedroom. It all feels so small and crowded. My current apartment isn't the biggest one, but now it feels much larger. I don't recall us having been a poor family, but we might have had a small home, but it never felt that way. At least for me. I never felt pressured by how much money we had. But being back here again, I think I understand now the reality we were living in. I've never got to thank them. I gently pushed the living room's door, making its way in. The living room. We would always gather here every night, play cards, and eat together, and talk about everything. My parents might not have been the most open-minded people, but they were people of culture. They were always encouraging me to discover the world and learn. That's what I did. I was mostly alone because I liked sitting in the back, observing everyone. I didn't have a problem with it. and even if sometimes I might have wanted to join others, I felt most comfortable in my place. I liked discovering the world by myself and only by myself, and I put all my thoughts on paper by drawing anything I could see. Drawing was my way of expressing my apprehension for what I see, and the ones I liked seeing the most were people, but unfortunately I did not get to see myself too. I just sat waiting for someone to see me, too, eventually. Looking back on it, maybe I did feel a bit lonely, but even now, I still feel lonely. But I guess those times were just a bit easier. I want to see my old room. I walked down the hallway until I reached the door at the end of it. I took a deep breath and I opened the door. It's just like I remembered it. My shelter where I would always feel welcomed, where I shed my tears instead of holding them in. It always felt like a safe zone. There was nothing to disturb with me inside of here. I kept all my things in here, even old toys I couldn't let go of. Here I could write, draw, paint, dress up, cry, laugh, talk to myself without anyone judging me. Here I could be me. But after the accident, it became a prison, an isolation room. And all its childhood charm faded away, just like I was fading away. The place I felt the safest became an empty room. Empty enough to imprison my eyes here, away from the outside world. No one could reach out to me here. I've lost touch with reality. I was wearing the same clothes, eating the same food, sitting in the same spot, letting out the same tears every day, and I eventually had to do something. But none of it matters now. I'm here to remember the good times. I should have brought Pompa with me. He would have loved to see his old home too. I slowly continued to stroll around my old bedroom, opening myself to as many memories as I could remember. There's just so many things wrapped in cold dust here. I feel responsible for not carrying more of this place. Is it too late to rearrange things around in here? I went closer to my old desk. There were 2 sheets of paper sitting on it. What are these? One of them seems to be a writing? Who's Mary? That's it, I remember it. I remember writing it back when I wasn't sure where I was studying further, where my life was heading. Mary was also experimenting new things. Things about it now seems a bit far-fetched. I wrote it at a time when I truly felt like I didn't have control over my life. I was just following a set of directions. Should I read it? Do it. Who's Mary? Who's Mary? We don't really know her. I mean, yeah, sometimes she comes around here and we talk about, weird stuff, as we like to call them, but though we're not really close, she's always wandering around. Sometimes it feels like she's not even here. There are random moments when she would start talking and we would just enjoy her speeches, but then she would suddenly stop. Mary? Yeah, I do know her. She's this weirdo in my class. She's always acts like she's above everyone else, but truly, she's nothing. Just because she gets high grades doesn't mean she's more valuable. She gets easily anxious if someone comes up and talks to her. She wants to act cocky, but she's truly just a coward. Once high school is over, we'll see who's more successful. Mary? Of course I know her. She's one of the best students here. She takes part in lots of activities. She gets excellent results in almost everything. She has so much potential. She really is equipped with the pursuit of career, any career she wishes to. She's a bit shy, but she'll get over it. All of us were when we were younger. Mary's a fake person. She acts like your friend, but she immediately backstabs you once you don't give her attention. Everyone seems to talk to her, but you wouldn't dare. But I wouldn't dare. She sells all your secrets. She's a terrible person, but she'll eventually have to learn her lesson. Mary is an unstable individual. She's forced to do all sorts of stuff. She always cries and talks about how her life means nothing and keeps bringing this theory that reality doesn't exist, and so on and so forth. She keeps making abstract drawings and paintings express herself and make us understand her, but she just needs help. A therapist of some sort, not to sound mean, because she is indeed a nice friend, but I always have to be the therapist when talking to her. Hell yeah. Mary is one of the only people who truly understands me. She always listens to me. Maybe she doesn't understand everything I tell her, but she always tries to listen and come up with the ideas to help me. She's a friend you can rely on, count on. She's always here to help me. The thing is, she really closed up. She barely talks about herself. I always want to help her too, because I know something's wrong. Something's wrong somewhere inside of her, but she always denies it. I won't pressure her to talk about it, though, but I just wish I could help her too. Yep. Jeez, Mary? Like, it is so weird and annoying. She likes those cartoon shows, and her music taste is just awful. She enjoys the weirdest shit ever when it comes to entertainment. She always claims she wants to become a famous artist, but seriously now, she has nothing to do with it. I hate Mary so much. She always has to be everywhere and everyone. What? She always has to be everywhere and everyone has to mention her name. Mary did that. Mary did this. Mary was there. Mary was here. Like, stop it already. I already have to hear how she perfectly scores every exam. Now, she always draws and does shit. And she was such a great student. Give me a break. She's so full of herself, too. Ugh, Mary. Yeah, I once talked to her. She has nice looks. There was a time where we used to be together, though. It wasn't something serious, but she still took it too far. She would always bombard me with her insecurities like, what will I do when you leave town? Why didn't you call me? It's really annoying. I started to avoid her and she finally decided to move forward. At least I hope so. Mary, Mary, Mary. Yes. Mary. Wow. This brings me back so much nostalgia. She used to play with I used to play with her when we were little, with dolls, dressing them up. I don't know why, but she really liked destroying their dresses and giving them handmade ones out of all sorts of materials. Anyways, I love playing with her. Her parents were so sweet as well. I would like to see her again, but it's been a few years since we last saw each other. Mary? Yes, I know her. Her parents were friends with my parents. We get to see each other like twice a year. She's funny though. I laugh so hard when I'm with her. I would like to spend more time with her. We have plenty of things in common, but our age gap kind of parts us away. Oh my god. Mary is our precious daughter. We love her unconditionally and will never stop loving her, even if she kills someone, including us. Nothing she would do would ever upset us. We're just worried because she's so closed up inside of her. She never tells us what upsets her. She always lies that everything is okay, but we know deep down it is not okay, because we know her better than anyone else. She's our daughter. We're worried because of the people she spent time with. They might have a bad influence on her, but we don't know. We try to monitor her around the town, but no one really knows. We try our best to protect her. Mary? Yes. She's right there. She didn't really talk today. She's kinda ruining the mood. If you talk to her, can you somehow ask her to politely to, leave? Not to be rude, I'm just pretty sure she's not enjoying her time here, so it would be better for her and for us too. Oh my god, it's literally going on forever. I used to know Mary, but only vaguely. I would see her in the mirror every now and then, but every time I would recognize her, I would get anxious. I was always afraid of accepting Mary and being her. She was my biggest fear, because alongside her would come other problems too. I would never be able to get past this anxiety, and so I started to deny her. Now Mary is Mary, nothing more, nothing less. But that's all I know about her. She will never be fleshed out for me, nor for others. She'll always remain a mystery, even to me. That's why I'm not going to stress myself in thinking about her and who she is. I want to forget her, so don't ask me who Mary is. She used to be someone, but now I think it's better for her to be nothing. I'm sure that would make her much happier, and I know that would make me too. Okay, there we go. It's not the best feeling going back again through what I felt when writing this. I was really pressured by the outside perceptions. I've let them dictate my life, just like now. It seemed that Mary started fading away even more before the accident. I wish I could have helped her. give her guidance. Not that I'm in any way better, but it's just painful to read this. She never got the chance to appreciate her own self. She was always seeking approval from others, and she was oblivious to her own potential. And it kills me to know she's gone forever. Unlike me, she was an authentic person, and those are the best kind of people. There's another letter. Yeah, I guess we're reading this letter too.
Dear Lorraine, I don't know how to begin this letter, but I do know that I wanted to reach you. Please, I want you to read it. Lorraine, you are the only one I have left, and I know you don't want to remember me. I wouldn't either, but I'm so lonely here. Everything keeps falling apart, and I've lost myself in the pain, and I don't understand why all of this is happening to me. I've done all I could. I've always tried for the best, tried to please everyone, but now it's all gone in vain, and I don't know why. I've put so much effort in everything I did, and all of it was for you, but I'm sorry if I've ruined everything. I truly didn't want you to live with this, but things just happened, and I wasn't able to control them. Everyone seems to leave me behind, and I don't condemn them. I've pushed them away because I was too ashamed of myself. I'm afraid of choosing my words because I don't want to disappoint you any further. I know you probably find me pathetic for my actions, for the way I think, and for this whole letter. But it's all I have now. It's just so hard to tell if what I'm doing is right, because there's no one next to me, and I'm afraid. Maybe I am pathetic. I am miserable, and the fact I'm aware of it doesn't make it any better. The future might be brighter, but it's just so hard to imagine it, given how I am right now. But I'm fighting. I'm fighting for you. I'm sorry, Lorraine. I truly am sorry. I know what I've done is awful. What you've been through is awful. And it's all my fault for being too scared. For being the horrible person I always am. And I continue to be selfish because I have one wish. You'll probably be disgusted by me, but I want you to remember me. I want you to remember that I've suffered in the end only for you to be able to make it. So when I do cross your mind, please don't mind writing me back from time to time about you, about your life, about the people who now care about you, about your dream job, about your new Vivian Westwood items, about all of your achievements and everything that makes you happy. Show me there's still hope for me, and maybe someday you'll forgive me too. Signed, Mary.
I'm sorry, Mary. Maybe my life right now is not how you wish for it to be. But even with the way it's been, I can't keep you in vain anymore. Should have given you an answer, but instead, I've just left you trapped in an untrainable dream. I was selfish. My whole life lived through selfishness. But now, I see there was no reason for it. Life will keep beating you up, whether you're a kind or cold person. So why not go through it with a warm soul? You're gone now, Mary. Everything is gone for me too. Maybe that'll make you feel less lonely. But with you no longer being with me, my wish remains, and I'm still here. If you don't mind me being late, I would like to write you. I took Mary's letter, and I sat down on the vanity desk in the room. I grabbed a still working pen and flipped over the sheet of paper with Mary's words on it. I placed my cold hands, wrist, wooden desk, and I brought my eyes up, meeting my own in the dusty distance of the mirror. The image was dark and altered, and I couldn't see myself clearly in it. Tried searching for myself deeper within the mirror, but my gaze was darkened by the cracks and dust. I saw myself at the desk, but there was no sign of me. Couldn't see my true self. Eventually, I let down my eyes on the paper and slowly began to small circles move from my wrists, circling the pen in the shape of letters as I was contemplating my message.
Dear Mary,
Mm-hmm.
I shall no longer leave your calls unanswered. I've made up my mind, and this endless masquerade has to come to an end.
Oh, well, that's
It's
not
all
Endless
over
Masquerade
now,
anymore.
Mary. I can't maintain this charade anymore. There's no point in doing so. I know you have hope for Lorraine, but Lorraine was just a one-time playable card, and I didn't know how to play it when I needed it. I can't keep wearing this mask. It's gotten worn out, and trying to make it so rigid only made it more easy to crack. One small pinch and it will all shatter. But perhaps it already did for you. Maybe this world was just not made for us. I'm sorry for leaving you behind, trapped in this cage of time.
Mm-hmm.
But visiting this place again showed me just how unprepared I am for everything. I wasn't as strong as I pretended to be. I wanted to be someone new, someone different, someone who doesn't whine and complain and gets things done. But it was too much to handle. There is so much pain and sadness which I keep inside of me, and I can't do it anymore. There's nothing for me to be proud of. I avoided my dreams to feel better, but it got me nowhere. I thought I was going for the hills, but I was just running in circles. I am lost, and I can't afford time to feel the pain because life just keeps moving on too fast. And all I want to do is just take a few minutes to just cry. I'm bottling up every day, and I feel myself drowning in the tears I shed within me. And with everything going on in my life, I just feel that water boiling up inside of me, and it burns. I want it all out. I don't want to fight anymore. I'm not ready, and I'll never be. I want to stay home, here with you. I don't want to go back there. The sight of real life only kept ripping my skin bit by bit every day, and eventually my rotten, polluted soul will lose its shell, and the world won't hesitate to step on it. You didn't like the real me either, but in the end, how far was it from what you are right now? There's no point in going on with this psychological puzzle. I can't refuse the mirror, no matter how dusty it may be. I am what it depicts. I am Mary, and I will never be the Lorraine my parents and myself aspired to be. I am Mary, and I seek comfort in an untangible ideal because I hate myself. I hate myself for forgetting how it's like to be hugged and loved. I hate myself because I'm cursed with the condition of living an unhappy life, and I'm punished to live this way until my life ends. That's why I have to stay here in this town, because this is the place where it will all end for me, and I don't want to be late for it. I don't have any other places to go to. One day, in this very room, through all of my boiling tears, burning and salting my cheeks, my eyes will choose to remain silent, and I will finally kiss the void. Until then, all I can do is just wait here, like I always did.
All right. So we're just gonna sit there. Yep. Bad ending? Was there other endings? Should I have brought the bear with me? Oh, it took inspiration from Silent Hill 2? And PT? I would have never guessed. This is a cute little model. Also a cute model. The dehumanization of Mary as she ascends her depression and isolation, at the same time represents the Lorraine's maturity and sense of self-gaslighting as she believes she's matured now and she's still carrying old trauma with her and pretending to be done. The player wishes to obtain the cannon and Mary needs to equip her with it. Oh. In the end, remove him from Mary's room, leaving her trauma behind, forgiving Mary. Rip. Manifestation, initial concept is very different. It's a project, but Lorraine's horror represents a complete embodiment of Lorraine and Mary's inner turmoil. Guess the telephone pole. Initially, the game title was Who's Mary? Who's she? Just as the writing of Lorraine finds in her old room, based on the real writing I did myself back when I was 16, the name Mary was a pseudonym for myself. The in-game is slightly altered to fit the character of Mary. Okay. Well, nice. There's the lore. We're not going to take the bear. We're not going to do that again. That was verbose. And my mouth is dry now. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. That was not Silent Hill 2, but Signed Mary. I will catch you in the next one. This has been Humpday Horror. That was longer than I expected, but you know what? Good stuff. Bye for now.